Hello, hello. This is going to be our last mystery science of the year. You're going to need your mystery science journal, the work of water, and we're going to be on the last page today. So here in a little bit, you will need the Save the Hills worksheet, the last one in your packet. So I'm going to screen share with you, and we are going to get started.
Hi, it's Doug. One summer, not long ago, something strange happened at this place. The place is called Big Sur. It's in the US state of California. It's actually not far from where I live. That's the Pacific Ocean right there. And notice the road. Lots of people like to drive to Big Sur because this road runs right along the sides of these hills. So you get these beautiful views overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Now, here's a view looking down at the road from a helicopter. On any normal day, you could see the road there. But imagine one day you look down and saw this. Whoa, what happened to the road? Again, here's the road before, and here's the road after. Part of the road just disappears. Can you guess what happened? What is this called?
Okay, pause and discuss. What do you think happened here and what is this called? Press play after you've had a discussion with somebody at your house or you have had time to think about it by yourself.
What happened was a landslide. A landslide is just what it sounds like. Part of the land, in this case, these tall cliffs, started sliding downwards. The land completely covered this part of the road when it did that. Some of the cliffs even slid all the way down to the ocean. Here's a photo that was taken from the side of the road that was left after the landslide happened. You can see just how much land is covering the road. It's buried in about 40 feet of rocks and soil. This was a really big landslide. Some scientists think that this landslide might be one of the biggest landslides in the history of California. Luckily, no one was hurt. But landslides can be dangerous. Here's another example of a landslide that was actually caught on film as it happened. Again, you're seeing the view from a road on the side of a mountain, and whoa, you see that? An entire forest slides by. If there'd been houses there, it would have knocked them over. Let's see it one more time. Here it goes. And all that land goes sliding right down the mountain. I would be terrified if something like this happened while I was on the side of a mountain. Why do landslides happen at all? What do you think?
Okay, take a moment, pause the video if you need to. What do you think causes landslides? Press play when you're ready.
Last time, you discovered how water can change the shape of the land. Water is the key to understanding landslides. You've seen that water is powerful. It can pick up pieces of land and carry them downstream, creating things like canyons, fans, and landslides. These are all examples of erosion, something changing the shape of the land. Erosion gets especially bad in steep places like mountains, hills, and cliffs. When a steep area gets slick and wet, the soil can just start sliding downhill. So it's not surprising that the landslide in Big Sur happened on a steep hillside. But there's another clue. Not long before the landslide in Big Sur happened, there had been wildfires in that area. Scientists have noticed that landslides and erosion in general always seems to get worse after there's been a wildfire. Why might that be? Well, take a look at this hillside before a wildfire came through there. It's green, it's filled with plants. There's trees, bushes, grasses. But after a wildfire, now look at it. All the plants got burned up. All that's left is ash. Why do you think landslides happen more often after there's been a wildfire?
Okay, take a moment. Why do you think landslides happen more often after there's been a wildfire? Be thinking about those two pictures that you just saw of the nice lush green forest on the side of that hill, and then how it was burnt and there wasn't anything left after the wildfire. Press play when you're ready.
Why would landslides happen more often after there's been a wildfire? Well, it turns out plants are really important for stopping erosion caused by rain. For one, the leaves on the trees catch the raindrops, so that when the rain drips off the leaves, it hits the ground more softly than if there were no trees there. That means less land gets picked up and moved by the rain. That's less erosion. But even just the small plants and dead leaves on the ground help because they soak up some of the rainwater. That means less water that washes downhill. Plus, underneath the ground, all of these plants have roots that grow into the soil. That actually helps keep the soil in place. You can see in this close-up picture of plants' roots that there are so many different roots going in every direction. It looks like a tangled mess, but that tangle of roots holds on tight, both to each other and to the soil, which keeps the soil from eroding or washing away. So now you can imagine why wildfires make landslides worse. Wildfires burn up all the plants in an area and leave behind only ashes. When there are no plants, erosion happens much more quickly. There are no trees or bushes to protect the hill with their leaves, so raindrops hit the ground much harder. There are no small plants or grass to soak the rainwater up, so water starts rushing down the hill. And there are no roots to hold the soil in place any longer. So after a heavy rain, water loosens up the soil and easily washes the land away. It's a landslide. Landslides are a problem, especially for people who live in steep areas. We don't want landslides to wash people's houses away. And we don't want rocks and soil to slide down onto roads where people are driving. So, what can we do? How can we stop landslides from happening? One thing we definitely could do is help plants to grow back after a wildfire. But that will take a long time because plants grow pretty slowly. Is there something we could do right now to stop erosion? Is there anything that would work like plants do to protect hills from getting washed away? What do you think?
How could you stop erosion from happening? And then, is there anything that would work like plants do to protect hills from getting washed away? So, something other than plants. Is there anything that would work that are like plants? Press play when you're ready to continue.
In today's activity, you're going to design a way to stop erosion. You know from the last time that if you make a cornmeal model of the land, you can cause erosion, like this little landslide. Today, you're going to create something similar again out of cornmeal, but this time, your goal is to see if you can figure out how to stop erosion from happening. First, each person will make a hill out of cornmeal. Then, you'll work with a partner to design a way to stop erosion on one of the hills you made. You'll test how well this first design works, and you'll use what you learned to improve the design on the second hill. I'll show you what you need to get started step by step. If you're in a class, find a partner. If you're at home, you can work alone. When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right. Cover your table with a tablecloth or newspaper to protect it from spilled water. Get your supplies. You'll get more supplies later.
Okay, so I'm gonna do an experiment here at school, but if this is something that you wanna do at your house, you can. I'm gonna end up using some different materials because I don't have all of the materials that they asked us to get. So my experiment's gonna look a little different than maybe if you do your experiment at home, or what they're asking us to get out for materials. So just be thinking about different items that you could use that are similar to or that might work better than the materials that they have. I'm going to go through all of the slides and then I'm going to turn this video off and then I'm going to go outside because I'm going to use dirt instead of cornmeal. And I'm going to do my experiment outside and that'll be a second separate video. That was like a tongue twister. Second separate. Whew, you can say that really fast. You win. See? Okay, we're just going to go to the next slide.
Put your paper plate on your plastic plate. You'll build your land on top of both. Now it's time to build a cornmeal hill. Get your cornmeal. Each of you scoop up 1 cup with land and press it down like this. The more you press it, the better it will keep its shape when you dump it out. Remember, even though you and your partner are each making a hill right now, both hills are going to be used by your team. Turn each cup over near the edge of the plate. Tap on the bottom and lift the cup up. Do it to both cups. And now you have 2 little hills. If you don't like your first try, you can dump it back in the bowl and try again. But don't worry about making a perfect hill. Real hills have plenty of cracks and lumps and bumps. Now that you've each built a cornmeal hill, it's time to think about what you can do to prevent erosion from happening when it rains. Get these supplies. You'll get water later. Once you have your supplies, go to the next step. How could we stop erosion from happening? Well, first, watch what a hill without erosion protection looks like in the rain.
Okay.
Then discuss ideas with your partner to stop this from happening.
Okay, so if you're by yourself or you're with a parent, you're going to either think about or discuss how could you use your materials to stop your hills from eroding like this. So look at the materials you have. How could you set them up? How could you put them next to your dirt hill or your sand hill or your cornmeal hill or whatever your material is? Or if you're just going to watch my video, be thinking about maybe how I'm going to use my materials to stop my erosion and if you think it's going to work. My experiment might not work. I'm going to try, but I cannot guarantee that I will keep my dirt contained on its hill.
Work together to try one of your ideas on one of your hills. Only spend about 5 minutes on this. Are you ready? I'll put a timer on the screen. Do question number 1. Draw how you protected your hill and write what you think will happen when it gets rained on.
Okay, this is where I'm going to stop video 1. I'm going to go outside and, I'm going to gather all my materials. I'm going to take them outside. I think I might beat the rain today. And I'm going to get my stuff set up and then you'll be able to watch my video of me doing my erosion part and we'll fill out that sheet together. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye.